Welcome to Evolving Into Her. I'm Ashlee Hope, and this is your weekly check-in to get out of your head, into your body, and back into alignment with the version of you who's already living the vision. So grab your favorite cup of tea, settle in, and let's get into the show. Hey girl, hey, and welcome back to Evolving Into Her. This is Ashlee Hope. And sis, I am so grateful you pressed play today. Every single DM, every share, every message from you guys, it really fuels this work. And it reminds me that these conversations aren't just words that I'm speaking out into the ethers. They're medicine for your journey. And so before we dive in, I do want to say I will be speaking a little slowly and a little more intentionally today. I am having a little bit of dry mouth. I am feeling a little bit under the weather, so just bear with me. And I also need you to do me one quick favor. If you're listening on Spotify, baby, pause right now and tap those 5 stars. If you're on Apple Podcasts, scroll down and tap those 5 stars, okay? You don't even need to leave me a written review. Just hit the stars and hit submit. And sis, if you've been here for several episodes and you keep coming back, and you know this podcast blesses you, you know that you feel seen, you know that it resonates, please pay it forward, okay? That rating helps the algorithm push this podcast out so other women who need the reminders, women who are ready to evolve, it pushes it out so they can find this work. And I'm going to keep showing up, I promise. I'm going to keep pouring into you. Like, I am in this for the long haul. All I ask in return is that you tap those 5 stars so together we can expand this message. And while we're talking about community, I want to invite you into not one, but 2 of my broadcast groups on Instagram. These are free spaces I've created so you can get daily reminders right to your phone. No scrolling, no searching. The first is called Daily Love Notes to Her, and it's on my ashleehope.co Instagram page. Every morning, I'll be dropping a short message to ground you, encourage you, and remind you of your devotion to this journey. The second one is called Daily Affirmations for Her, and it's on my evolvingintoher.co page. This one is all about keeping you anchored in her with affirmations that speak to who you've been, who you are right now, and who you are becoming. Neither of these groups will overwhelm you with notifications. I'm not going to spam you. You'll just get one reminder a day. And the best part is you'll be in the room with other women who are also becoming, women who are devoted to their healing and their evolution. If you want to join, it's easy. Just head over to my profiles on Instagram, ashleehope.co and evolvingintoher.co. When you tap the profile, you'll see the broadcast group links right there in the bio. Just click join, and every morning you'll get a gentle notification with that day's note or affirmation. And of course, the direct links are in the show notes. Okay, sis, so you know the deal. Grab your drink. I'm having water today with a mix of sweet tea and lemonade Mio in there. So it has this Arnold Palmer taste and it's sugar-free. And I have a splash of electrolytes in there just to help with like the rehydration of things. So yeah, grab your drink and let's get into the show. Okay, so today we're talking about something that I think every single one of us has struggled with at some point, and that's the tendency to give up on ourselves too soon. Whether it's your healing journey, your fitness journey, your friendships, therapy, journaling, energy work, like we start with so much excitement, and then the moment it feels slow or uncomfortable or too hard or invisible, like we don't see the results, we want to walk away. And I want us to unpack that today because, sis, you cannot keep ghosting your own healing. You can't keep ghosting your own evolution. And I'm going to talk about the ways in which this can show up. So yes, it's in the outer work. It could look like you start the supplements, but you don't see the changes fast enough. And you just declare like, girl, this don't work for me. You go to the gym and you expect a body transformation in 30 days. And when it doesn't happen, you stop going. You start journaling, but when the piece doesn't instantly flood in, you close the notebook. You read a book or buy a course, but instead of practicing and integrating what you've learned, you just hop on the next thing. You hop on the next course, the next book. And it's in our inner work too. You may go to therapy for 3 sessions, and when it stirs up old pain, you ghost your therapist. You start setting boundaries, but when someone gets upset, you shrink back and say, you know what, never mind. You decide you're going to work on your friendships and build a supportive community, but the first time it feels awkward or vulnerable, you pull away. You may commit to speaking up for yourself, but when your voice shakes, when your knees buckle a little bit, you decide you're not ready yet. You start reparenting yourself, doing the inner child work, the healing the father wound, maybe the mother wound, doing the shadow work, embodiment. But the moment it feels uncomfortable, you abandon it. And we do this in every area of our life. And it's not because we're weak. Ain't nobody weak, okay? It's because our brain is wired for comfort and for safety and for instant gratification. So if you think about it, when you start therapy or journaling or energy healing, anything that makes you meet yourself, you're pulling the Band-Aid off wounds that may have been there for decades. Of course, your nervous system is going to scream danger. Okay. I want to scream it like mystical danger. Okay. Danger. Get on the flow. Okay. Of course, you're going to feel resistance. That is not a sign to quit, my friend. That is a sign that something real is happening. That change is happening. That healing is happening. And here's the neuroscience piece. Y'all know I love to add little nerdy facts in there. When you try something new, your brain gives you dopamine. We love a good shot of dopamine, okay? It's exciting. You feel like you're about to transform overnight. But once the novelty wears off and the real work begins, which is the repetition, the discomfort, the facing yourself, the dopamine baby is going to dip. When I dip, you dip, we dip, okay? That's when people quit. But hear me out, sis. Quitting in that moment is like walking out of the hospital before the surgery even starts. It's like you're ghosting your own healing. And sis, you cannot ghost your own healing. Okay, so let's take this a little further, a little deeper. Because most of the time when we give up, it's not just because the work feels slow or uncomfortable. It's because of the hidden expectations we've placed on the process. Oof. And we don't always realize it, but oftentimes we start the inner work already attached to the outcomes. We go into energy healing sessions hoping to feel instantly light and free. We start journaling thinking life is just going to magically feel different in a week or a month. We set boundaries expecting everyone to applaud us and say, girl, yes, good for you. Okay, you did that. We meditate believing that all of our anxiety will just vanish in 10 minutes. Baby, it don't work like that, okay? And when those exact results don't show up right away, we decide, well, you know what? This isn't working, okay? But the truth is, healing is not Amazon Prime, sis. It doesn't arrive in 2 days with free shipping. It's not a quick transaction. It's a relationship. It's a practice. It's a journey, and one that you better start learning how to enjoy. And what happens is that subconsciously our brain is wired to crave relief. So the brain says, now, girl, if I'm doing all this work, then I'd better feel better right now. It's like that Denzel clip that's going around that's like, listen, I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. Okay, that's what your brain is doing. That's survival mode talking, sis. It wants instant change. But growth requires you to stay with yourself even when the shifts are subtle, even when they're still integrating. And so let me give you a real life example. When I first started energy healing, there were times where I walked away not necessarily feeling different right away. I was expecting fireworks. I wanted to feel transformed in a single session. But what I eventually realized was that the work had begun underneath the surface, the clearing, the alignment, the balancing, the recalibrating. It was happening in my energy field and my nervous system before my mind could even process it. And then a few days later, I noticed I was calmer in a situation that used to trigger me. Or I feel lighter in my body without even knowing why and not connecting the dots. Those subtle shifts were the evidence that the healing was indeed working. And that's what we miss sometimes. We think that if it isn't dramatic, it isn't working. But the truth is, subtle is powerful, and integration takes time. Neuroscience even backs this up. The brain resists change at first, even positive change. It wants to go back to what's familiar. So when the results don't feel instant, your mind will tell you it's not working. But really, that's the exact moment to keep going, because the work isn't just about, this instant breakthrough. The work is in allowing the shifts to land. The work is in showing up consistently enough to let those changes take root. So think about it. You're not just journaling to fill a notebook. You're not just meditating to check off a box. You're not just receiving energy healing for the experience. You are literally retraining your nervous system. You're building trust with yourself. You're teaching your body, I won't abandon you this time. And every time you stay when you want to quit, you're sending your subconscious this message: I am safe to continue. I am safe to grow. I am safe to heal. And friend, that's why I speak about devotion so much, because it matters so much. Quitting early just tells your nervous system that old, tired story again, which is, I can't finish. I can't stick with this. I can't change. But staying, even if the shift feels small, that begins to write a new story, which is, I am safe to keep going. I am safe to do the work. I am safe to become her. So next time you want to walk away because you don't see the results fast enough, just remind yourself something is moving. The shift is already in motion. I've already done so much. You just need to let it integrate. And I touched on this earlier, but if you don't learn to love the process, your healing journey, your growth journey, your evolution journey, life will always feel heavy. And when something feels heavy, it's only a matter of time before you drop it. That's why so many women give up. They approach their evolution like a checklist. Okay, let's meditate. Let's journal. Let's book the session. Let's drink the water. Let's take the supplements. And eventually it starts to feel like another job. But healing doesn't have to feel that way. Your practice can be sacred. They can be moments you look forward to. And when I started shifting into this, I realized the way I approach my daily rituals mattered. If I sat down to journal like it was homework, of course it would feel draining, especially because I'm neurospicy, okay? It felt like work. But if I set the mood, maybe I lit a candle, poured me some tea, played me some 90s R&B in the background, it would feel like a date with myself. And that changed everything for me. Your brain actually thrives on pleasure and meaning. Neuroscience shows us that habits are more likely to stick when they're connected to positive emotion, which means the more enjoyable and intentional and fulfilling you make your practices, the easier it is to return to them. Sis, life already gives you enough have to do's. You don't need your healing to feel like another obligation. What you deserve is for your healing to feel easeful, to feel joyful, to feel fulfilling, to feel playful, to feel restful. And when you approach your practices this way, you stop waiting for big results to prove that they're working. And you begin to notice the beauty in the small shifts, the way your body feels calmer, the way your thoughts feel softer and more aligned, the way your energy feels more grounded. And so you may feel in this next part that I snatched your edges a little bit, but girl, just go down to the beauty supply and get you some castor oil drops and oil your edges. They'll grow right back, okay? I promise. But I want to talk about something that so many of us get caught in, and it is the cycle of learning without ever really living what we've learned. And I'm calling it the personal development rabbit hole. And you know exactly what I mean. You've got the stack of books on your nightstand, 3 online courses you signed up for, a playlist full of podcasts, all these YouTube videos bookmarked, and maybe even a journal with pages of notes. You're soaking up all the things, all the information, and it feels good in the moment. You feel inspired. You feel motivated. You even feel proud of yourself for investing in your growth. But knowledge without integration is just noise. Knowledge without implementation, embodiment is just noise. And I say that with so much love because I've been there. And there was a season where I was constantly consuming. I was reading, taking notes, highlighting every other sentence in a book. But when I looked at my actual life, nothing has shifted. And it was because I wasn't embodying what I was consuming. I wasn't practicing it. I was just, for lack of a better term, I was just collecting information. And sis, collecting information will not transform you. The brain doesn't rewire because you read about change. The brain rewires when you practice change. That's neuroplasticity. Your brain literally creates new pathways through repetition, not through knowing. And so here's the shift. The next time you read a book, don't just highlight a quote, live that thing out. The next time you take a course, don't just finish the modules, pick one tool or one practice and use it daily until it becomes a part of you. The next time you hear something on this podcast that resonates, don't just nod your head and say, oh, Ash is cooking. Okay, ask yourself, how can I integrate this into my day today, into my week, into my month, into my life? Because embodiment is where transformation lives. And so think about it this way. You don't get stronger or get snatched just by watching someone else lift weights. And baby, I'm going to tell you, if it worked like that, honey, I would be on the YouTubes all day watching the girls lift, okay? If it make my booty sit up like that and make my waist snatch like that, and I don't got to do nothing but just observe, baby, sign me up. And with the way technology is working, I can see that happening one day. And guess who's going to be the first to subscribe, okay? But as for right now, with the technology that we have right now, it don't work like that. You get stronger when you actually pick up the weight yourself. Personal growth works the same way. Watching, reading, or listening won't change you, sis. Living it will. And the truth is, you don't need more information. You probably know so much. You know enough. You need to trust yourself enough to start embodying what you already know. You probably have everything you need to shift your life in this season. You have read enough books. You have taken enough notes. You have watched enough YouTube videos. You have listened to enough podcasts outside of the Evolving Into Her podcast, which you should tune into every single week, period. Okay, clock it. You've gathered enough wisdom. Now it is time to practice. Now it is time to embody. Now it is time to integrate. So instead of asking yourself, what else do I need to learn? Start asking, what am I willing to live out, to walk out, to embody today? And that's how you move from someone who consumes growth to someone who actually experiences it. Clock it. Okay. And this is where it's going to really click for you because we've been told that all we need is discipline. I even did a podcast episode about discipline, and discipline is powerful. It really is. It creates structure. It builds consistency. It's the bridge between who you are today and who you're becoming. Without it, nothing moves forward. But the thing is, discipline by itself can start to feel like pressure. It can feel like force, like one more thing you have to hold together. And that's why so many women get burnt out. And that's where devotion comes in. Discipline says, I'm going to keep showing up. Devotion says, I love myself enough to keep showing up. Discipline is the container. Devotion is the fire that fills it. Got it? And so when you put these two together, sis, that's where the transformation becomes sustainable. Think about it. Discipline is what gets you to sit down with a journal every single morning. Devotion is what helps you see it as more than just pages and ink. It's more than just a practice. It's a conversation with your soul, with your higher self, with God. Discipline is what makes you commit to your energy healing sessions. Devotion is what makes those sessions sacred. Discipline is what reminds you to move your body. Devotion is what allows that movement to feel like freedom, to feel like expansion, to feel like joy and not punishment. So do you see how they work hand in hand? One is structure, the other one is spirit. One is the bridge, the other is the love that keeps you crossing that bridge. And when you bring both into your healing journey, into your evolution journey, into your growth journey, into your life, you stop giving up on yourself so easily, because it's no longer about forcing yourself through the routines, and it's no longer about chasing inspiration. It's about showing up with consistency and with heart. Discipline will keep you steady, but devotion will keep you soft, and together they'll keep you becoming her. And before we close, I want to leave you with this thought, okay? The women who experience the deepest transformation aren't the ones who move the fastest. They're the ones who stay. Staying power is what makes the difference. It makes all the difference, because life will test your commitment. That's one thing you can count on, okay? Life will life. There'll be days where you don't feel like journaling. There'll be days where you'd rather scroll than meditate. There'll be days where your energy feels low, when you question if all of this is even worth it. And that's okay. And in those moments, I want you to remember, you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to stay. And staying might look like just writing one line in your journal instead of 3 pages. It might look like taking 3 deep breaths instead of a 10-minute meditation. It might look like whispering one affirmation under your breath instead of a full ritual. The power is not in doing it all. The power is in not giving up on yourself. Sis, you've already seen what happens when you quit too soon. You already know what it looks like to start and stop, to gather information and never embody it, to give up before the fruit shows up. That story is old. It is played out. It is tired, okay? That season is over. This season is about staying, about choosing yourself again and again, about allowing it to look imperfect, about allowing yourself to have days where you do nothing, where you dilly-dally a little bit. We all need those days. About not taking yourself or your journey too seriously, about enjoying the journey, allowing yourself to embody joy, embody expansion, embody peace, embody fullness while you're on your evolution journey, while you're on your healing journey. This season is about becoming the kind of woman who doesn't need instant results to keep going, because she trusts the process that she is devoted to. That is what makes you unstoppable, not perfection. It's never been about perfection over here. It will never be about perfection over here. It's not about speed, but your staying power. Sis, I hope this conversation blessed you. We talked about a lot today. The start and the stops, the expectations, the discipline, the devotion, the power of staying with yourself even when it feels slow. And I don't want this to just live in your mind as something you've heard. I want you to feel it. I want you to experience it in your body, because like we said, healing doesn't happen only through thoughts. It really anchors when you bring your whole self, your full self into the practice. So right now, wherever you are, I want to invite you to shift with me. Put your phone down if you can, unclench your jaw, roll your shoulders back, close your eyes if it feels safe. This is the part of the show where we stop thinking about the work and we actually let ourselves drop into it. This is your moment for her. Sis, I invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly let it out through your mouth. And again, deep inhale through your nose. Inhale self-trust. And exhale. Release the urge to give up, the temptation to give up. On your next inhale, breathe in discipline and devotion. And on the exhale, release doubt and self-sabotage. And I invite you to place a hand on your heart. And if it feels good, place the other hand on your belly. And just feel your own presence holding you. Feel your belly expand underneath your hand. Feel your chest move up and down. Feel your heartbeat. And you can repeat these words after me, either out loud or silently in your heart. I am safe to stay with myself. I am devoted to my evolution. I release the need for instant results. And I trust the beauty of the process, the beauty of the journey. And just allow that affirmation to echo inside of you. Feel it in your breath, feel it in your body, feel it in your energy. And allow it to anchor in your nervous system as truth. And before I let you go, sister, don't you dare give up on yourself. Do you hear me gritting my teeth like a black mama? Okay, don't you dare. Okay? Not this time, not again. The shifts you've been praying for are already in motion. You've got to trust that. You've got to believe that. They may feel subtle, they may feel quiet, but they are real. Girl, time is going to pass anyway. Let it pass with you choosing yourself. Let it pass with you staying the course. Let it pass with you becoming her and co-creating the life that you desire to live. If you're ready to take this deeper, the doors to Her Energy Reset are now open. This is my monthly energy healing container designed to support the woman you're becoming. It's a space for you to release, to reset, and to receive the energy you need to fully step into your next season. The link to learn more about it is in the show notes. And if this episode spoke to you, if it resonates, if you are picking up what I'm putting down, okay, please share it with your sister circle. And don't forget to pause right now and tap those 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or both, okay? So more women can find this work. Please pay it forward. And until next time, sis, keep showing up, keep choosing yourself, keep staying in the room with your healing. And remember, do not give up on you. This is Ashlee Hope. You've been listening to another episode of Evolving Into Her. I will see you next Tuesday, but until then, take care of yourselves and stay devoted to your evolution. I'm Ashlee Hope, and you've been listening to Evolving Into Her. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for choosing her, for choosing yourself. And until next time, stay in devotion to your becoming.